This is the story of Kang, the cowardly dog. One day, out of nowhere, he, along with half the population, got transported to a dungeon. Everyone else? They got these OP skills ready to dominate. But Kang, he got stuck with a useless skill, resurrection. And let me tell you, that skill, it was nothing but a curse for him. He died more times than he could count, got smashed, got chopped into pieces, burned to death. Hell, one time he even got smashed by this goddamn thick goblin. And to make things even worse, his only family, his sister, is... Guys, please smash that 4,000 likes and hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you want to support me, I know you got this. Now let's continue. It all started on that fateful day. Tomorrow was New Year's Eve, and like always, Kang came home after getting rejected by yet another company. And of course his sister, like always, started scolding him, asking, "Why the hell can't you get a job? For how long will I have to take care of you?" Kang had enough of all this. He was depressed, and to make things worse, he was also drunk. His head was spinning, so he just went straight to bed, even while his sister was still scolding him. As he lay there, he started to wonder why he was such a loser. He slowly fell asleep, thinking, tomorrow will be better. It was midnight, New Year's Eve, when suddenly a creepy voice murmured in his ear, startling him awake. The next thing he knew, he was in an endless white room. Before he could comprehend what was happening, words started appearing in front of his eyes. Suddenly, that same creepy voice welcomed Kang and informed him that the tutorial would begin shortly. Kang, unable to understand what was going on, questioned if someone had kidnapped him in his sleep or if someone was playing a cruel joke on him. Fear gripped him, but then he remembered that he had been sleeping. This realization brought him some relief. He must be dreaming. Thinking that he was just dreaming, Kang became happy. After all, he was already very depressed in real life. So finally having a dream felt like a small escape. But suddenly, the same voice interrupted his thoughts, telling him that he was about to enter stage 1. To clear it, he would need to reach the destination point at the end of the bridge. The voice also warned that if he failed to complete the task, he would be killed. Kang started to grasp the gravity of the situation, but he still couldn't understand which bridge or what depth the voice was referring to. Suddenly, he was teleported to a dark cave. As he looked around, he got shocked. He noticed the ground beneath his feet creaking ominously. In front of him were several narrow stone bridges. He wasn't alone, many people were standing around him, but just below them, molten lava bubbled menacingly. One wrong step, and it would be the end. The sight of the lava shocked Kang to his core. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was just a dream, right? But the sensations were so intense, it didn't feel like any dream he'd ever had. He began to question the reality of the situation. Who were all these people? What was going on here? Looking around, he saw that the other people seemed just as shocked as he was. They were all standing there, bewildered and scared. Kang couldn't help but think, what kind of stupid dream is this? As he was trying to make sense of everything, a familiar voice called out to him. Kang turned to his left, and to his shock, he saw his sister standing on the same bridge. She was terrified, crying uncontrollably. The sight of his sister in this strange place filled Kang with even more shock, and the first this he said to his sister was, "Why the hell are you in my first dream of this year? This is ridiculous." This made her sister more shocked, and she replied, "I should be the one saying this. What is my brother doing in my dream?" She was still scared and confused, beginning to wonder if this really was just a dream. Everything felt too real. But Kang wasn't ready to listen to his sister's fears. In a serious tone, he said, "Don't act like this is your dream," because it was clearly his. But his sister only got more furious. She yelled back, asking if this was really the time to be arguing about whose dream it was. The heat of the lava and this sensation was too real to be a dream? And the bigger question, was it even possible to have such a natural conversation like this in a dream? But Kang, being a bit of a dumbass, he explained that a brain can be easily tricked. People always say they can't feel pain in their dreams, but that is a lie. Kang had experiences where it felt like he was really pissing, only to wake up and find that his blanket was safe. Hearing this, his sister got really annoyed. "Good job. Very good job saying something so embarrassing in front of your sister." But Kang shrugged it off, saying it didn't matter. It was his dream, after all. With that, he began moving forward, determined to see where this bizarre experience would lead. After hearing this, Ju-hee was shocked. How could her brother be so dumb? She asked Kang where he was going, and Kang, slowly balancing himself and with a taunting tone, responded, "Didn't you read the system notification? It clearly said we have to go to the other side of the bridge to clear the level." He continued, "Well, I guess since it's My dream? An NPC like you couldn't know that. Hearing this, his sister got even more annoyed that Kang called her an NPC. She explained that she had also heard the notification, but asked Kang if he wasn't really scared. What if he fell from there? Kang dismissed her concerns, calling Juhi stupid because, after all, it was just a dream. He explained that even if he fell and died, what difference would it make? But before Kang could finish his sentence, a shadow fell in front of his eyes. Someone, a human trying to move forward on the bridge above him, slipped and fell. Kang watched slowly as the person plummeted down and then saw them burning in the lava below. As the unfortunate soul fell into the lava, he started screaming very loudly, burning right in front of Kang and his sister. The person's body melted before their eyes. Rotten, burning smell, creepy, both of them, and seeing this, Kang's lungs seemed to stop working. After that, Kang and his sister didn't say anything for a while. They just stood there, watching the person die slowly and painfully. Kang's face was a sight to behold. After a moment, his sister asked, "What were you saying?" Kang's face was worth seeing. He shivered and tried to speak, stuttering. The scream just sounded a little too realistic, right? I'm not scared at all." But he was so scared that he couldn't even speak properly. Seeing this, his sister sighed. His sister then crouched down and told Kang, "If you're so scared, then bow down and crawl forward like me." Saying this, she started moving forward slowly. Kang was clearly very scared. He still shivered, trying to save face, saying, "Who was scared? I wasn't scared." But then he thought, Juhi's idea isn't bad, so he decided to bow down and crawl. The scene shifted, showing that some time had passed. Many people had moved forward, while many others had fallen. But Kang and his sister were still slowly making their way forward. Although Kang's sister was scared, she didn't show it to her cowardly brother. She asked Kang, "What does he think happened to them? Any idea?" Kang, still in denial, insisted that it was probably just a very realistic nightmare. Kang's sister replied, "He is still stuck on that? Kang should have already realized by now that this isn't the case, right? Does Kang really think a dream this realistic can exist?" She continued, speaking in a very serious tone. "There's definitely something going on, something they can't even begin to imagine, and if they die here, maybe they die in real life too." Hearing this, Kang couldn't hold back any longer and started crying very loudly. For so long, Kang had been trying to be strong, but finally he broke down. He shouted, You witch! I was trying my best to ignore it. So why do you keep bringing this up? I'm stuck here, frozen in fear." The thought that if he died here, he could die in reality too scared him so much that he couldn't move. He started shivering uncontrollably. Seeing this, his sister thought to herself that Kang must be the most unreliable older brother in the world. Kang finally just lay down there, paralyzed by fear. He started shivering even more, saying, "I'll just rest here a little before continuing." His hands and legs trembled with fear, but he tried to change the topic. He forced a smile and said, "You know, the possibility still exists that this is just a dream, and maybe when he wake up everything will be gone." But before Kang could finish his thought, the same voice echoed around them. It announced that a set amount of time had passed since the start of the tutorial, and that no player had completed it. As a result, the difficulty would now increase. As soon as the voice stopped, a loud crackling sound started. Hearing this, Kang and his sister became very scared. Suddenly, the bridge behind Kang started breaking apart, not just his bridge, but everyone's. Seeing this, everyone became very scared and started running. Half of the people fell while running, while the other half kept going. But Kang, already terrified, became even more scared and couldn't move. His sister stood up and shouted to Kang, "Run fast or you'll die!" Kang finally managed to get up and started running. His sister was ahead of him and Kang was trailing behind, still very scared. He kept repeating to himself, "It's okay. The bridge isn't too narrow. If I don't trip, I'll reach the end. Just look ahead. Focus on the path. Just keep looking ahead." Saying this, he kept running as fast as he could. Finally, after a while, he saw the end of the bridge. Seeing this, he felt a surge of happiness. He thought that as soon as he reached the end, this nightmare would be over. But suddenly, he heard a crackling sound. He looked to his left and saw that his sister was also about to reach the end. But the ceiling above her was breaking apart. He called out to his sister loudly, but it was too late. At that moment, something inside Kang awakened. His brotherly instincts kicked in, and he jumped from his position. He landed on his sister's bridge and with a burst of speed grabbed her. Without hesitating, he jumped from there, determined to save her. Then we see the bridge beneath them start to crack, and finally Kang with his landed on the end of the bridge. If they'd hesitated even a second longer, they'd have been done for. No doubt about it. before they can even catch their breath.